it's your girl! And you can't say you really know a person without knowing their taste in hentai. And the only real way you can find that out is by finding out—
Nope. We're not watching that video. Good. Big pass. You watch that on your own, guys.
Welcome back to another installment of the best upcoming PC games to play, this one for the month of July 2021. I gotta say that there aren't too many AAA games coming out this month, but I do think that the AA
That's okay. I'm more of an indie gamer nowadays.
Delivering here, as we've got a pretty solid list and a healthy mix of genres. There's a few interesting looking action games, some survival, FPS, and believe it or not, 2 MMOs launching this month. That's right. Who would have thought that that'd actually be happening? 2 in 1 month. On top of that, there's quite a few top-down games, so I hope
this game
looks
really
good. Well.
good.
And with that said, let's get right into it.
I want to play this one too.
We'll be ordering this by release date, and kicking things off, we've got Crowfall. Remember that game? This Kickstarter MMO was funded and revealed back in 2015, and after 6 years of development, it is finally launching. Now, besides being an MMO, Crowfall is what they're calling a throne war simulator, where they've taken elements of survival, strategy, and political sim games and put them into an open player-driven world. There are player-built and maintained cities, a player-driven economy, and the ability to choose
laggy,
what
though.
you want
Look
to
at
focus
it.
on, whether you want to be a gatherer and crafter or someone who just does PvP combat. So the gear in the game
I feel like
will
such
be
an
made
elitist,
by
but I
master
can't
crafter
play
players,
games that
and
have this
is
like
used
chugging
to fuel
feel.
the PvP combat that's all about players fighting and sieging the opposing factions. All of this happens.
I back
on
and
what
played
are
it a bit for the alpha. It was not
basically
good.
seasonal
Oh,
campaigns with their own
unlucky.
rule sets that will move through literal seasons from the spring to the winter, getting progressively more difficult, and this is set over the course of multiple months, eventually concluding with one side being the winner. There's some really neat ideas in this game, but unfortunately, after the 6 years in development, it seems any excitement for this thing has completely evaporated. It kind
no
of blows
bueno.
my mind, because at one
looks
point,
cool in
this was
concept.
one of the most anticipated upcoming MMOs. I'd say specifically in the early days between 2015 and 17, there was a lot of real interest in Crowfall. However, as time has passed and various playable alpha and beta tests
Looks like the Magic
took
Battle
place,
Royale
any
played.
excitement around this thing seems to be gone. It's a real shame, but from what
Spacebar
I've
Simulator.
seen,
I know what you're talking about.
get it. This
The game
doesn't
that
look
Eldest
great
Souls
or
loves. Spellbreak.
apparently run well, and it doesn't play that great either. I was definitely not impressed myself when I briefly tried the game a couple of months back.
Yeah,
So
Spellbreak,
why is it on
yeah.
the list, you might ask? Well, I'm just a fan of MMOs in general. I'm willing to check out anything that's new.
Spellbreak's
give
to be
it a
canceled
shot,
in
and
October?
try to
Wait,
get
Spellbreak is getting canceled? Really? Is it really? Oh, Magic Legends. Gotcha. I'm saying they did a big chapter, didn't they?
judge it for myself. So yeah, even though no one else seems excited about Crowfall, I'll be jumping in and trying it out.
Yeah, I feel like this looks like a game that I would play or try, but it does look a little chuggy.
On PC on July.
I don't know. Should we try that game,
base
chat?
price of $39.99.
It is an MMO.
Next up is Black Skylands. This is an upcoming top-down shooter that combines elements of open world, sandbox, and action adventure games.
I don't know
this
what
really
it is about these
unique looking-
games. Like, I just want like a slight angle. It's too top-downy. I don't know. Does that like bother anybody? I don't know what it is. Like, this game looks cool with art and whatnot, but I just want like a slight angle. The straight top-down feels weird to me. It feels unnatural.
Package. Now, I do suspect that the art style and top-down camera may turn some people off, but I gotta say there's a lot of cool-looking things about this game. For one, the gameplay is a mix of aerial and ground combat. So say you come
I feel like I just want to like
a group of really tough
enemies,
enemies,
sink in
you can
a little
either
bit, you
just
know?
use your skyship
Just
and
get the
attack
angle
them from the air, or if you want to go in on foot,
just a
you
little
have
bit.
the ability to grapple to the island and engage in some up-close, top-down shooter
Like, that looks
action
really cool.
using
That's a cool
wide
shot.
variety of weapons. The game is set in this big, expansive open world where you use that skyship to explore these various floating islands. There'll be forest and snowy lands, urban jungles, and of course the mysterious Black Skylands. While exploring, you'll be focused on capturing territories and clearing out occupied areas to expand the power of your faction and gain access to new resources, upgrades, and characters. There will be customization for both your skyship and your weapons. You also have this home base that's called the Fathership, where you'll have to build this up, expand upon it, and protect it from invasions. I think this
I
is
really
actually
like this guy's
a really
videos. This is
neat
Force
looking-
Gaming, by the way, if you guys haven't checked him out. He does a good job of going through and like explaining things and the games that he's wanting to look at or play. I think he does like a video every couple weeks, so he like literally is like spending the 2 weeks playing these games, and then he gives you information about them. This is like YouTube goals. This is where I want to be one day. This guy's got awesome. Oh, looks like we got a game. We'll revisit this afterwards. Okay. Well, one of our teammates dodged, so we can continue this video. Fuck yeah.
Game. It's the first title from Hungry Couch, a fairly small studio of 15 people, and I'm pretty impressed with what I've seen of it so far. I think if you like indie games and you don't mind top-down pixel art, this might be a one to keep an eye on. So this will be coming to Steam Early Access on PC on July the 9th.
Yeah, it's so weird. I look at this, and someone said that they felt it in their neck in chat. I feel it in my neck too, right here. I feel like I'm wanting to like adjust my neck to get a better angle. That's such a weird feeling.
Tag at the moment
of
making this video, but if I were to guess, I would say this will probably be somewhere between $30 and $40. Next up, we've got our second MMO launch of the month. This one called Sword of Legends Online, also known as Solo. It is an action MMO set in a fantasy world that is rooted in Chinese mythology, and this joins the growing list of Eastern MMOs making their way to the West. Although interestingly enough, I've been hearing some pretty good things about this, which is in stark contrast to the typical sentiment around a lot of Eastern MMOs that get ported. People seem decently interested in this one. So the game apparently focuses on this fast...
I just need to hook it up. It's so weird, chat. I've been running like a headset mic for so long that I'm just used to it because of like commentary and all that stuff. But I like the sound of these mics. I just can't... For some reason, my brain can't process putting a mic in and then having it be here the whole time while playing games. I don't know what it is. I just need to do it. I just need to commit because this is better audio quality.
People seem decently interested
talking
in this
into
one.
a mic right below me.
Focuses on this fast-paced action combat.
This guy needs to trim his mustache before it starts growing into his mouth. Fucking eye roll. Dude's over here presenting 10 amazing games, putting the content together for you, and the thing that we talk about is his mustache.
It will reward proper reactions as you have to time dodges to avoid attacks. There's a combo system where you chain skills for increased effectiveness. It's also got hybrid combat where you have the ability to swap between action and
plug something in does not sound problematic.
I gotta say, personally, I haven't loved
so audio balance is actually a lot harder than you would think. So yes, you can plug in the mic, but you have to plug in the mic and then balance it against your stream, and then also find what resonates with your voice as well. Like when you have mixers and whatnot. Here, let me show you actually. I'm running this. You have to go through and mix out your voice with your microphone and try to find the amount of gating you want. So like I have a speech impediment, I have a lisp, so I try to cut that out as much as I can. You also have to gate enough to where your background noise, and like I have a fan in the background, things like that. There's a lot of adjustments. You can't just plug in and go because every mic is different. And then you have to dig through the compressor, make sure there's a decent amount of audio in. That way when you yell, you're not blowing out people's ears. It's actually a lot harder than you think. You say the channel was Force Gaming? Yes, it is Force Gaming. Yeah. Audio balance is actually kind of hard and a lot of work. Like a lot of people stress over it more than I do, and I feel like I stress out pretty hard. But Walter in particular, he is literally adjusting his audio every fucking week. It's insane. And like we'll do a Demon Souls video, and he'll be like, "Hey, can you adjust this a little bit?" And like I don't mind doing it for him, for sure. But this is something that a lot of people actually worry about a lot, and so going from this microphone into another one is a daunting task. That's why I have a hard time plugging in new hardware and stuff, just because I'm so afraid of fucking it up and then ruining my stream, right? I'd rather just have a consistent stream that is slightly off, that I know is slightly off, than one that I don't know what's gonna happen, you know?
Combat in games that have tried this.
I balanced my audio now at 7.
Maybe it'll be different this time around. There are 6 available classes.
Oh, you're fine, Fox. You're fine.
2 different roles that
just
you can freely switch between.
Hopefully that didn't come off as yelling. That was me just showing you some behind the scenes. That wasn't me yelling at anybody, I promise. It was just, here's behind the scenes a little bit. Just a little bit. Ty plays with audio so often, yeah, he does. He doesn't like the way he sounds, which I think he sounds great.
With numerous difficulty levels, apparently a decent end game.
You can't fuck up things by plugging in a new monitor. Actually, you can. You plug in a new monitor and suddenly your refresh rate gets adjusted, which if you change your refresh rate on here because you need to make sure it's perfect for your eyes, you then have to adjust it on ops to make sure that it captures perfectly, and then also streams at a lower bitrate and compression rate to Twitch. There's like 3 steps to putting in a new monitor. And if you don't know the exact specifics, you can fuck it up.
options,
It's
as well as a
actually-
focus on
it's actually really
storytelling
annoying.
with some fully voiced cutscenes. Now, I don't know much of the nitty-gritty details here, as I haven't tried this out yet for myself, but again, the buzz around this one has been fairly positive. Also, apparently the monetization isn't overly aggressive here, so Solo will be launching for PC on July the 9th with a base price of $39.99. Now, those are the games in the first half of the month. Now we move on to the much more loaded back half. Kicking things off
there's a lot of
here
games
is
coming out towards the end.
Death's Door. This
Ooh.
is an isometric action-adventure game.
What
that
is
has
this?
What I think a cool premise, slick-looking
this is that
combat,
Crow
and a
roguelite,
killer
right?
style. I'm pretty pumped for this one. So in Death's Door, you're going to play as a crow, as in the bird, who has a soul it was going after stolen from it, and then you have to chase that thief down into another dimension. Kind of weird, but it's cool here because the game has you moving through various levels, taking on these increasingly challenging enemies, and finding the means to access these locked
fighting with an
areas
umbrella.
while ultimately
Look at
facing
that.
off against these colossal
I wanna
bosses
shred people with an
as you
umbrella.
progress to chase down the soul thief. The combat, from what I've seen, looks fairly fast-paced. You'll be using a variety of magic, melee, and ranged weapons to take out all sorts of different mythical creatures, while also having to properly time dodges and countering. As you progress, you're going to collect souls to unlock upgrades and customization for your weapons and character, and I just think this thing looks great, especially the art style. I really love it. It's got like this Tim
I
Burton-y
agree.
vibe. And I do want to say as well that
Freaking love
despite
Tim
the
Burton.
presentation here, this isn't what you might think. This is not an isometric roguelike.
Oh, speaking
it's
of, it's a
actually
game.
apparently more of a
Here's a recommendation for you, chat. Dark, I think, is on sale on Steam right now. I saw it on Twitter. I mean, everything's on sale on Steam right now. But Dark, if you like that Tim Burton style, this game is $4 right now. Which I really enjoyed this game. Platformer, love the style, etc. Highly recommend checking it out. $4 right now. Get on it. Okay, I have to go play Heroes now.
a Metroidvania style game. There are branching paths with locked off areas that you have to try to figure out how to get into, and there's also quite
This
a bit
game
of
looks so
storytelling.
good.
Now, I'm not sure what that means for the replayability of this game. I'm hopeful there's something there because I really do love
I'm
the
okay
look
with it
of
just
this
being a
game,
story.
the gameplay that I've seen. This one coming to PC and Xbox consoles on July the 20th, and it's listed at the moment on Steam for $19.99 with a 15% discount available for the next couple of weeks. Next up, we have got Tribes of Midgard, a Norse-themed co-op survival action RPG. So the main goal in this game is you have to protect the seed of Yggdrasil, and to do so, you're going to go out and explore the
I was actually
wilderness,
looking at this
hunting
game for me,
animals,
Moon,
harvesting
and Walter to
resources,
play.
and diving into dungeons to gather what you need to craft weapons, armor, and
You, like, build a little
defenses.
village
This
and
whole
then you defend,
process
like,
is
against
done
an
to
onslaught of
prepare for
peeps.
nightfall, when these hell things emerge and attempt to attack the
It's like
seed.
7 days
so you're
to
gonna have
die.
to use everything that you gather and craft
But playable.
to successfully fight them back in order to continue. And then with each passing day, these enemies will be growing stronger, and you'll have to gather more resources, create new tools, and collect better gear to survive. The entire world is procedurally generated with a variety of biomes, locations, ruins, and other landmarks to explore. You can apparently build anywhere, which is going to let you set up camps as you adventure, or construct ramps to access new terrain. You'll get to pick from various classes, each
I
with
think
their
it's
own
so
unique
funny
abilities
that
and
in every single Viking game, you have this as like a hub where you spawn, and there's all these rocks always around you in some way or some fashion. Every game.
classes, each with their own unique abilities and skills.
I'll
There
play
will
a
be these
mage.
colossal giants for you to track down and defeat that are going to drop powerful gear. And finally, the game is playable solo or with groups of up to 10. So it looks like they're taking some of the fundamental elements of survival games and then adding this neat narrative with this Norse-themed layer on top of it. Now, the gameplay footage I've seen
that
does look
Darude?
pretty smooth, albeit with some simplistic and at times kind of janky looking animations, but I think the premise is good, and if it plays well, this could be pretty fun.
Like,
So
look
this
at
will be coming
that.
to the
Look at
PC
that entire city. That looks so cool.
as well. This could be pretty
Like, look at that. How fun would that be? Build a big ass great hall, put on some rocks, make sure it's elevated, and then like defend from afar and range down all these hordes that are coming in. That seems like it'd be so much fun. I wonder how many players is recommended.
pretty fun. So this will be coming to the PC and PlayStation consoles
Tribes
on
of
July
Midgard
27th for $19.99. Moving on, we have Eldest Souls. This is a fast-paced boss rush Souls-like
I think this
game
month
that
looks really
says
good
to
for indie
offer
games.
challenging timing-based combat layered with lots of customization. So basically, you're going to battle your way through a series of boss rush encounters
This looks like
that
Titan
require
Souls.
precise timing and reaction to various fight mechanics in order to defeat. And in doing so, you make yourself stronger and unlock new capabilities. All of this takes place in this ancient old
We're in the
god
office of
citadel that
Croatia.
you're gonna
Our
explore.
Ashes of Croatian outfit
Now,
looks
one
neat.
of the main features
I
of this
wasn't.
game is its customization.
But there is supposed to be a
and what
beta
they
at the
call
end of the month
ability sandbox,
that I'm down to
which
try.
is broken into 3 key parts. First, there are the fighting styles. These define how you approach each boss fight. So there are 3 of these: the Wind Slide, which is all about repositioning and cutting through enemies;
I'll probably run
the
that one.
Berserker Slash, which is about building up fury and unleashing heavy-hitting attacks; and then the Counter style, which, as you might guess, is about learning and countering incoming attacks. In addition to the fighting styles, there are the
I don't know
shards
what it
that you will
is,
get from
but when it comes to like countering and parrying, except for Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, I'm awful at it. I just can't do it. It's so weird. It's so weird. I just can't land that parry mechanic. When's the next time we're gonna play Sea of Thieves? I don't know. I'm trying to edit a video right now to put on YouTube when we played yesterday. But we'll probably play it more and more. I don't know. Sea of Thieves is fun. It's fun until it's just not fun, right? So it's kind of like on a whim kind of thing.
Feeding bosses. These will provide active and passive abilities from that boss, kind of like a Kirby style, Mega Man style gameplay. And then there's the infusion system where you can take those shards and actually put them into the abilities that you get in your fighting style skill trees, further altering those abilities. So between the fighting styles, the shards, and the ability to infuse, there's said to be quite a large number of possible combinations and builds, basically different ways to approach the combat. So this game is going to be launching on the PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch on July 27th. At the moment, not seeing a price here. Next on the list is Chernobylite.
I would play that one.
RPG
This
survival
one, I don't
horror
know
that
about,
mixes
chat.
free exploration with challenging combat, unique crafting, and a non-linear
I just
sci-fi story. This game takes place
can't
in
seem
an
to get into
accurate
this game at
3D
all.
scanned recreation of the Chernobyl exclusion zone, but in this like fantasy horror setting. You have to build up a team, try to survive, and reveal the twisted secrets of this alternate universe Chernobyl. Exploration is a big aspect of this game as you explore the literal Chernobyl. I can't get over this part. It's just Chernobyl.
That is a
but
really cool
fantasy
feature.
version.
So they
you're
went and
gonna-
scanned Chernobyl and then put it into the game. So this is the exact corridors and stuff you would see. That is pretty interesting.
make your way through the
But for some reason, I
surrounding
just can't
wilderness
seem to
and
wanna
move through
play this
various
one.
apartment complexes and then into the nuclear site itself. The game has this non-linear sci-fi plot where you'll have to make
Which is weird, 'cause
decisions
I
that
like
impact
scary
the
games
world,
and
like
spooky
whether you want
games.
to ally or fight the residents of the zone. You can also
Maybe I
build
should just
up a
force
team
myself to
of
play it. I
companions
don't
to
know.
help support you. There are survival elements from both natural and supernatural threats. And you'll also be scavenging and crafting, and you also have access to this like unique device that lets you change some of your previous choices, but in doing so alters reality and may result in you having to fend off these invading creatures from other worlds. Really cool idea with this game here. I gotta mention as well, this is a single player story focused game. There's no multiplayer co-op element to this whole scenario.
That's fine.
And also this game has been in Steam
I don't
Early
mind
Access since 2019.
when games do that. They
At the
focus on
moment,
what they
it's
wanna
got
do.
Pretty good reviews from what I see, and the full launch is happening for PC on July 28th for $29.99. Next up is Project Warlock 2. This is the sequel to 2018's Pixel FPS. This is a fast, frantic, old school style shooter inspired by Doom, Hexen, and Wolfenstein. Project Warlock 2 will be picking up after the events of the first game and will feature 3 episodes, each revolving around the different warlocks with their own skills, perks, and arsenal, while also taking place in distinct settings with a menagerie of deadly monsters,
Yeah, I don't know
bosses,
about that one.
secrets, and upgrades, all of which fuel and feed right into
I
the
feel like that
game's
game would be fun
frenetic
if it's just, like,
combat.
pure
So
speed.
each warlock in Project Warlock 2, it will be carrying its own arsenal of over 20 weapons based on their various playstyles. There'll be shotguns, machine guns, rifles, launchers, swords, staffs, cannons, and more. Each also have 3 unique magic skills supporting either gun or magic focused play. Enemies in the
I
sequel
feel like this
have
game is
increased
designed for those Quake
capabilities.
lovers,
They can now jump, run,
I didn't really play
hold
much
back
Quake when I was a
needed,
kid.
and also have a larger variety
I didn't
of
play much
attacks.
video games when I was a
Every
kid,
world
but
in the game will consist of 6 sprawling levels that are roughly 5 to 10 times bigger than those in the first game. They say that you can expect to spend up to an hour in each level, or even more if you want to find all the secrets, upgrades, and Easter eggs. The original is fairly well liked and reviewed from what I personally saw, and it looks like they're hoping with this sequel to build upon that original game's success. Project Warlock 2 is scheduled to enter Steam Early Access on July 29th. No price at the moment. Now we've
I might
got
just check it
The
out
Ascent.
for you
This
guys,
is an
but
action RPG
for me,
shooter
don't really want to play
set
it.
in this dystopian cyberpunk
Looks like they ported from
world.
1990.
Everything's gone
I
to
mean,
hell,
that's
and you're
the
trying
entire
to
point, isn't
survive
it?
and figure out what happened. So the game is set to blend deliberate twin-stick shooter gameplay with some classic RPG elements. They're also really focused on creating a sense of despair and scale and verticality in the world. I could immediately tell that from looking at some of this game's
What is
footage.
this
Now,
guy?
in terms of
Look at him down here. What is he juiced out on? Some like T-Rex serum or something?
gameplay, again, it's a twin stick shooter, so you're going to aim around guided by these lasers as you try to pick off enemies.
Shrek
and you'll
hit
have
the gym.
access to various types of weapons you can swap to, or these lethal gadgets to use.
Looks really good to
There's
you?
a dynamic cover system.
I think it'd be fun for
duck behind
co-op.
debris piles and
But I
other
feel like
objects. Along with
my friends
this,
that I play
parts of
games
the
with, any
environment
game is
will be
fun in co-op
destructible,
for
but
a
you can
while,
use
right?
this to your advantage. The game also has plenty of RPG elements between the story, loot, and customization. So you're going to start off with basically nothing but a pistol, but then as you progress, you'll find weapons, armor, and augmentations. You can also level up, which is going to give you access to new skills.
Man, we gotta
There's
finish
character
Resident Evil 6.
customization through this cyberware that's going to be used to suit your different play styles. There's also lots of storytelling and world building with big cities to explore and NPCs.
Shouldn't be Trick. If the game doesn't do anything new or interesting and only wants to say, hey, it looks like Doom, then who cares? Obviously, a lot of people, if it was successful, right? I mean, that game might not be for you or for me, but like, I'm not here to like shit on anyone else's happiness, right? Like, if someone looked at that Doom game and goes, oh, that'd be kind of cool to play through a game that looks like Doom but different, more power to them, you know? It's not for me, but
PCs to talk
somebody
to
likes
in a
it.
wide range of districts, from the deep slums to these high luxury spheres, all part of you attempting to put together these clues and unfold the story. And the entire game can be played alone or with up to 3 friends in local and online co-op. And from what I've seen, this just looks like a super immersive world. Like, especially for a top-down game, the level of detail in these gameplay trailers make this thing look fantastic.
It does
I'm
look
pretty
good,
pumped
yeah.
for this one too. This is coming to PC and Xbox on July 29th.
I just feel like
and
these
is
games,
priced
like when I play these stick shooters, like they're fun for like a couple of hours, and then I kind of get over the gameplay loop. So I don't finish these games. The story would have to really pull me in.
at $29.99. And the final game on today's list is Little Devil Inside. This is an action
I can't wait for this
RPG
game.
with
Okay, this game looks fucking cool as hell. I don't even know what it is, but I love the art style and I love like the little moments they show. Hopefully, you show some of them.
survival elements set
This game
in a
looks
surreal,
hype.
atmospheric,
I can't wait to play this
world.
game.
Now, I think what stands out most about this game is simply the look.
Yeah.
It's got almost this
Yep.
dreamy art style and setting, along with these unique camera angles that they use. The game
fight, like,
is, I
weird
think,
ass shit.
certainly eye-catching. It's also clearly trying to do something different than your average action survival RPG. I mean, they say as much themselves, claiming this game is not just about killing demons and saving the world. You'll take in the atmosphere and live a
Like, look at these little
realistic
moments.
life in an unrealistic world. This is a game that tells stories about people with unusual jobs, such as hunting monsters, and what happens in everyday life. So while
I
playing
love
the game,
weird
you'll
ass
be
games
alternating between
that take you on like a 3 to 5 hour journey. They're some of my favorite games out there. And I hope this is one of
these
those.
combat-focused action adventures that you go out on, and then downtime as you
Poop.
return home, as you return to your city and relax.
Who doesn't love a
and
poop
prepare
moment in a
for your
video
next
game?
Mission. I mean, this thing is
Yeah,
just
like this. Like, you're
super
scared of this
unique
giant-ass
looking,
cat.
and
Look at it.
I can
And look at these
understand why
weird-ass
this thing has
creatures,
so much
man.
excitement behind it. Although I don't know that actually belongs on this list because it is slated to launch in July, but apparently, from my research, it's starting off as a PlayStation exclusive.
That's fine for
and
me.
then eventually coming to PC.
That's fine.
So I'm not
Whatever.
sure if the PC launch is actually happening this month. For that reason, I got a couple of other bonuses to throw into the list as
Good
well.
old
for
Forrest.
you.
He's got you
I
all
want to mention
covered.
that Fallout 76 is having their Steel
played Two
Rain
Brothers? Yeah, I did. It was
update
great.
on July 7th. This adds a new quest line about the Brotherhood of Steel.
I've actually heard
It
this
adds new
game, it started to get really, really good. I mean, I don't really care about Fallout 76 and any of the Fallouts. I played Vegas for a bit. I could see why people loved it. It was just kind of outdated by that time when I played it. But apparently this game is kind of kicking off lately, which is good. I'm glad they're getting their vision put together. I feel so bad when a game has a bad launch and then they're not able to finish it or put it together because it just gets canceled because it didn't bring in the money or there was too much outrage. But it seems like Fallout 76 is getting that love, which is great.
Locations and gear. There's a new season to rank up and unlock rewards in, as well as new legendary crafted items. I know this game...
Button mash.
I love your whole attitude and thought on games and gaming. If I ever could be a streamer, I want to be like you. Thanks for being you. Thank you, man. Thank you. It's very nice of you. Just be careful, because sometimes I hate myself and I rage about everything.
Gets memed on
so don't
a
be
lot,
like me.
and especially
be
early
better than
on
me,
when this
please.
thing launched. That was
For your own
rightfully
good.
done. But from what I've heard, this thing has really come a long way, and I guess I'm happy to see that they're continuing to update and support
he
it.
even said
We
that too.
also this month have the Ashes
Was that
of Creation.
Was that an Iron Man suit? Was that an Iron Man suit?
I'm happy to see that they're continuing to update.
It is. Look at that. Oh my God, it's all Americanized. Jesus.
And support it.
America.
We also this month have the Ashes of Creation
Mythos.
alpha
Appreciate
test.
the
Now,
4
this
months,
is
my
a
dude.
super early build of the game. It's definitely not feature complete and will probably be super buggy and laggy, but there is a preview weekend happening from July 9th to the 11th. That's fairly restricted. And then a longer alpha test is taking place from July 14th to August 13th. Both of these will have no NDA, so expect to see a lot of Ashes of Creation footage out
we'll have
there.
to check
And
it
then
out.
Lastly, I want to mention that
Yeah!
New World's beta is happening
Come
this
on, New
month.
World.
Yes, it's finally
Amazon,
here.
Please don't let me down. This is the game that I've been waiting forever. I want it to do well so I can have a main game that I kind of care about that I can play for a few hours a day and not quit and hate everybody in it. Please be a decent game. Please be all right. Amen. Amen.
Just ahead of the August 31st launch, New World is having a beta test starting on July the 20th and lasting until August 2nd.
I just love how
so
it
this
looks,
test is
man.
going to have all of the new features that we've been talking about that they have been adding over the past year or so. All these new weapons, new zones, new enemies, new AI systems, the dungeons, the fishing, the revamped quest line, the voice-acted story. So much has come to the game. So much has changed about the game just since last August in that preview event. I'm pretty pumped to jump in and check out the new and improved version of New World. And with that, we are wrapping up this month's list. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know
you,
this
Force
was
Gaming.
pretty long and extensive of a video for just a top 10
There were
list,
4 or
but
5 games
I'm
there I
trying
want
to
to
give
play.
you guys enough detail and get enough information about these games to actually tell you something about them besides this is the name of the game and the genre that it's in. So hopefully you guys like it. There seemed to be a pretty good reception.
Hey, I liked this video. I liked the video. Keep it up, Mr. Force Gaming. Smile. I actually really like his videos, so check him out, man. He's got some good stuff. Okay, cool. Back into the queue.